This is part 3 of my 4-day road trip around Cornwall, Dorset and Devon. This is what you missed in the first half. Good morning! In today's video I am going to attempt to go to 5 locations. I'm in North Devon, as you can see from the sign behind me. Right now I'm at Duckpool, so I'm just sheltering behind this sign because it's mega windy right now. I'll film as much of this as possible. I'm going to venture across the stream, which you'll see. I've got some wellies, you will need wellies. I'm going to cut across the stream, head south along the beach, and hopefully I'm going to do some long exposures of some rocks and some water. It was high tide 2 hours ago, it's receding. You're looking for around a mid-tide. It's about half an hour before sunrise, but the weather looks rough. Let's see what we're going to get. I made it, I'm through, I'm dry. God damn, it's windy! Yeah, I think there's a composition to be had here, so I'm going to set up the camera. What I didn't mention earlier is that Sandymouth and Duckpool, they're only about a mile away from one another. If the tides aren't working for you in one, then you could just jump over to the other. Very close. Right, I've got myself together now. There was a moment there where mega windy, super raining. I thought I was going to cry at one point. I sat through it. As you can see, I've got a bag over my camera. Once again, I would suggest get your lens and your filter set up on the dry land back there. And then once you've got that, I'm sticking to the 16 to 35 10-stop filter. Let's talk a little bit about Duckpool. Great location. In the middle of the beach, you've got these very, very large rocks here. I'm struggling to find a composition that includes them because if you're on this side, it's on the right hand side of the frame and it's just very, very heavy. It's not a very well balanced composition. If you're on the other side, once again, and behind these, you've got this big cliff which just dominates your image as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just focusing on these rocks here. This is the composition I've been working up. I've got these curvy foreground, really dark, jagged rocks, and then there's just this one big boulder here in the middle, which seems to be working out quite well. The tide's pushing back a bit. I'm going to start to work these rocks a bit, and then I might head round the beach and see if there's any more compositions. But essentially, you're just looking for foreground, jaggedy rocks with the waves coming in and out. Black and white conversion probably because the sky's a bit miserable. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to get on with some photos. It's quite a brutal day today. As you can tell, my hair's taken a bit of a beating. I'm moving on because I'm going to go to Sandymouth. Just over the top of that, that's the car park, nice and easy. Apart from the river, you need some wellies to go through the river. 5-minute walk max beyond the beach. 2-minute walk on a good day. That is brutal out there. Right, next location. Well, I am here at Sandymouth. I'm not going to read you a story, I'm just looking up the postcode. If you're looking to find your way to Sandymouth, the car park closest postcode is EX23 9HW, and then if you're looking to find Duckpool, then you just get back on the main road and you go about a mile north, and yeah, just follow the path, nice and easy. Look at the state of my car. So from the car park, which is just behind me, you've got the cafe and the visitor centre right here, and then you just follow the path down the hill. This is Sandymouth, and we were at Duckpool earlier. So I stayed in Bude last night. Been to Bude before. I actually won a photography competition years and years and years ago, and I won a one-to-one photography landscape workshop with the famous landscape photographer Ross Hodinop. And the reason that it was in this area is because this is where he lives. So he knows his way around for definite, and he taught me some really, really good tips and tricks, and he critiqued some of my images. That went well. He just had a few minor things, and this was about 5 or 6 years ago. So like, being reassured by somebody like that, and he said, oh, you should enter your photographs into the landscape photographer of the year and a few other things like that. So that gave me a bit of confidence. Right, have a look at this. We're down here already. As I suspected, I've missed the best opportunity for this place. You can't photograph this and Duckpool because the tides, the ideal tides, are the same for both of them. But even if I'm not going for the classic landscape photographs whilst I'm here, there's actually still a lot to photograph. I've been here in Devon for a couple of days now. Every single beach seems to be different rock structure. The rocks at Duckpool were much darker. These ones have got oranges and browns and a little bit of black, and then the cliffs are orange as well. So each of these beaches does have its own characteristics. I'm going to make my way down to the sandy beach. Now I'm just deciding whether I should walk on the sand or photograph it, because you can't undo footprints. Yeah, I'm going to take some photos. Yep, it's all in the histogram. So essentially, the waves and the tide are way out there, but I've got these tidal pools. I've got trapped water, and then I've got sandbanks. Just doing some really simple compositions using these lines for interest. I'm gonna go and photograph that in a second, but didn't want to ruin the sand in case I want that for a different image. So even at low tide, this place still offers quite a lot to photograph. I'm glad that I made the decision to go to Duckpool this morning. I think that the rocks there are more interesting than here, but this is a pretty beach. Yeah, sand. Obviously it's called Sandymouth. There is sand here at low tide. At high tide, I was up there where that water outlet is. The waves were crashing up there. See if I can shelter behind this rock. Ah, it's just relentlessly windy. So, Sandymouth, loads to photograph here. I don't even have enough time in this video to explore everything, but essentially from Sandymouth, head north, and you've got so many rocks. Have a look at these. You just need sunlight and the right tides, and then all of this is going to be wicked foreground interest. This is west facing, so this is probably a sunset location, and you want a receding tide. So get here when it's high to medium tide, wait for the tide to drop, and then venture out here. You're gonna get some shots. You use opportunities like this to scope out some compositions, and there are just so many here. That, all of these lines just heading out. Just imagine the water was running through here. Awesome. So I was heading back to the car park feeling a bit sorry for myself because I haven't taken a single photograph here that I like, but then I turned my attention to the cliff face. This has actually got a lot of interest to it. It's got some lovely orange tones, and it's got some black layers which just cut through like this. So I got the 24 to 105 out, started to zoom in. If you've got macro lens, that'd be better. Yeah, I'd say these are the only photographs that I've taken whilst I've been here that I would say interest me. Plus, you've also got this water feature. And I've got a few photographs of this as well from this rough perspective. I think that's come out really well. You could do a long exposure of this. I just did a 1/50th of a second, so I've got some movement in the water. This is moving quite quickly, so handheld you still get water motion, and then you've got another water feature just around the corner as well. So in summary, Sandymouth, loads to photograph on a nice day. On an overcast day like today, that's when you could start shooting the rocks and the pebbles and the cliff face, because you don't really want direct sunlight for that. So there's stuff to photograph here no matter what the conditions. Apart from high tide, at high tide the water line comes up to this ridge here. At high tide, this is the beach is non-existent. Right, I'm gonna do this hill, and I'll see you at Welcombe Mouth Bay.
Everybody prays to God by different names. Tell me your version, you don't have to play it down or fake it. Don't give me that bullshit. Driving in the parking lot in the shades with counterfeit leather.
This wind is never going to let up. How sketchy was the access road to get here? The underside of my car was scraping along the ground. That road is only wide enough, just about wide enough, for my Honda Civic. This excites me. This is Welcombe Mouth, not Welcombe Mouth Bay, which is what I said earlier. Oh, it's starting to rain again. This is so painful. I just want to take photos. Welcombe has a silent B in it, so it would be spelled Welcombe. I am half an hour north of Sandymouth. It was half an hour, but it's only 11 miles. But now, I've been to this beach before at sunrise. It's very memorable because there was a storm. There was a lightning storm, and I sheltered underneath these cliffs here, and it was rough. So my advice is, if you come here, tell somebody that you're coming here, because there's no phone signal. It's very, very remote, but a landscape photographer's dream. All of the beaches that I've been going to, the rock formations are busy looking, but this place is just uniform. This is textbook, beautiful Jurassic coast. Have a look at this. As soon as it stops raining, I'm getting my camera out. This is tough conditions to be taking photos in. I'm struggling to keep rain off my filters. You're just smearing seawater across the filter. I might have a bit of cleaning up to do in these photographs, but how I'm shooting is I'm using f8. Hopefully that will allow the camera to shoot a bit through the raindrops on the filter. It's hard work, but I am getting some photos I'm happy with, which is good considering I thought this was going to be a total washout. I'm going to say it, despite these really rough conditions, this is my favourite location for long exposures and rocks, because there's just so many compositions here. I'm confident I'm not going to do 5 locations today, but I still want to get 4. I still want to get to my 4th location. This is my last photo here, then I'm going to head back to the waterfall, take some photographs of that, and then I've got to take off. 1 minute exposure. Ah, it's over. It's overdone it. All right, one more photo. That was overexposed.
Moving too fast, we moving too slow. Moving too
I've been beaten up by the weather today, and it's not even over yet. I have to say, it's worth it. This is the cave that I sheltered in when there was a lightning storm here. And let me tell you, that was a freaking amazing experience, but I didn't film it. That was before I used to make videos. So if you're going to go to any of the places that I'm talking about in this video today, I'd come to Welcombe Mouth. So I have taken some photographs of the waterfall. Couldn't film it because it's far too noisy. I'll put those photographs up now. That is a sweet location. And just so that you get your bearings, once you're at the top of the stairs, car park is right there. The next location is Blackchurch Rock. See you there. The internet has not been very helpful whatsoever trying to find this place. So I'm trying to get to Blackchurch Rock. If you go on Google Maps, Blackchurch Rock does not exist. As you can see from this map, there aren't actually any roads near it, just lots of footpaths. So what I've done is I've parked up at the nearest car park, Brownsham car park. I don't know how far this is. Three-quarters of a mile I can handle, that's absolutely fine. If we get there and the tides are all wrong, I don't think this location will work whatsoever, but that's the whole point of doing a recce, or me doing this recce, so that if and when you come here, you don't have to worry about all of this rubbish. Bit of an adventure though, isn't it? I have genuinely no idea where I'm going. The internet's not being very helpful. Do as I say, not as I do. I always recommend that you scout out and you do all of your research before you come out to the countryside. Sign says I've still got a quarter of a mile to go. It's a tough hill. The hill is even tougher in the knowledge that I know that I need to get down to the beach. I'm all the way at the cliff top. So I'm gonna have to go back down again. And then back up again. And then back down again. That's apparently a good vantage point, but that's the cliff top. Still no idea how to get down to the coast. I'm walking through a field and I can hear a phone ringing. Someone's dropped their phone on the floor and they're ringing it. How has that even still got battery? It's been rained on and everything. Am I being punked? Does this belong to you? Shit. I'm gonna put that there. Hopefully it doesn't blow away. Weird, very weird. Hello? Hi, this phone was on the floor out in the countryside.
Thank you very much.
I was just walking out in the countryside and I heard a phone ringing.
Did you hear it ringing on the ground?
Yeah. It was literally just along there, so it must have dropped it or something.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, cheers. What was that all about? She lost her phone yesterday and she's got a good old-fashioned Nokia and it still had battery in it. What are the chances of that? I should have asked what the reward was. Steak and a beer, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've been walking along the coastline. Big field with loads of sheep in the background. I'm stuck on the top of the cliff right now. I haven't seen any signs that suggest how to get down to the beach. Hopefully some answers are coming though. So I've come the long-winded way through the woods and following the coastal path. There's an estuary coming along here leading out to the sea. There's a farmer's track that runs just straight up to the car park where I've come from. It's not going to be really short journey, but it'll be quicker than the route that I've taken. So I am now down on the beach, and that is Blackchurch Rock. But I don't know if I'm on the wrong side of it. How do you get to the other side? Out of all the places that I've been to, this is the most difficult to find. If you want to come here, you're going to have to walk. In summary, this recce this is a recce. As a photo shoot, this would be a failure. You need to come to this location at low tide. I managed to just get some signal and all of the photographs are at low tide. The reason being is you can't see the holes in the rock from this angle. Look at the size of these waves. Stop, 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 stop. Oh, I need to get out of here. So yes, if you're coming to this location, which looks like a really, really good location, by the way, very difficult to get to. You need to come at low tide, but after the tide is receding so that the foreground is still wet, maybe some water still left over. And it doesn't matter which side you shoot it from, because at low tide, you can probably just walk through the arch. So I will have to come back to this place one day, but at least now I know how to get here and the conditions that I need to do it properly. Obviously I haven't got a good photograph of it to show you, but what I'll do is I'll ask around some other landscape photographers, see if they've got a copy, and then I'll post that up here. Here's the good news. My brother Paul is also into photography and he's been to this location. So he sent me his raw file and I've processed that in black and white. This is what Blackchurch Rock looks like at low tide. Thank you, Paul. It's not been easy. It's definitely not been easy. Tonight I'm travelling to Lulworth Cove, so make sure you tune into my next video. I'm going to be going to Durdle Door at sunrise and then Lulworth Cove. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.